Hey! Crank this up a little bit. I am not Andy. Andy. Not Andy. Yes, Susan's here. She's got her poem, and we'll be ready to go. So let me tone down the music here. Pardon me. Anyway, Andy's going to be calling me as soon as he gets into the parking lot. We don't have but one parking space per unit at this condominium complex. So there is a general public parking area. So I directed him there, and I told him to call me when he gets there, and I'll walk him to the condo. And then he'll know where we live as our secondary residence. But anyway, it's April 29th. Episode 208. Yes, we're definitely now fully into our 5th year of the off night. All right. If you join us, you know that it's gone through different iterations, and now it's pretty much 4 old guys shooting the shit.
So you should push the ding bell every time you use a cuss word.
Oh yeah, the ding bell. Why don't you get that out? Where is it? That's around here somewhere, isn't it? We had it for the Unclub. Susan and I worked out a skit where I was going to say I'm auditioning for the cleanest comic in America, so I'm going to work on doing just clean material, and then she would have a bell, and every time I used a bad word, she would ring it, and then every time she would ring the bell, like, oh shit, and just use a different profanity every time she rang the bell. That was the skit. I thought it was hilarious. There's the bell. I knew we had it around here somewhere.
There we go. So every time he says shooting the...
Yeah, there we go. Damn it. There you go. Perfect. And we had to keep it for this show. It works out pretty well. Anyway, Andy hasn't called. I was going to turn the show over to Sue. She read her poem while I go out and got Andy. So let's just turn it over to Susan. She always begins our show with a poem that she creates out of the news headlines and puts the news headlines in verse. And so here's Susan with her poem for April 29th.
Mark likes to have us sitting in the dark, so I can hardly read it, but here we go. Companies must allow better wages and not be shirkers. The FTC banned non-compete clauses for workers. Turn now to New York, same song, second verse, repeated this story is going to be worse. Weinstein's conviction overturned, is New York court astute? The 1901 Molyneux rule is not absolute. The National Enquirer's David Pecker testified, we're finding out Trump and Cohen may have lied. There were payoffs to stop damaging rumors. The stories withheld are bigger than tumors. Writing poems for you is the best. Just call me Dr. Sue S.S. Let's all have some cheer. The off night is here.
All right. Hand me that thing right there. I like that. There's one here I hadn't heard of. What is this 1901 Molyneux rule?
Well,
what does that mean?
It's a rule. It's in New York, and it has to do with offenses, and you'd have to look it up. I could have told you yesterday when I wrote the poem.
All right, I will look it up. All right, but now it's time to bring out our co-host. I guess they're regulars. Our I'm more than just the host. I'm the cheap tech guy. Here's Sam Greenfield from New York. Hey, Sam.
Speaking as a Jew, describing yourself, Susan, as an SS makes me a little edgy.
Well, I guess it's more of a poem that you'd have to see in writing, because if you look at Sue SS.
Yeah, make it good. Go ahead. Yeah, fine.
Dr.
Well, she figured out her initial. If her name is Sue Salisbury.
Yeah. Break into Tomorrow Belongs to Me. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay, you ready? Okay. No, her name
Susan Salisbury,
and then Sweetman. So Sue S.S. and it spells Seuss, like Dr. Seuss. So
Only
when
it's
she's
spelled differently, but
spelled, yeah. So when she's writing, she always does it as Dr. Sue SS. You're right.
not always.
It probably shouldn't be. It probably shouldn't be SS.
But you're right.
Probably
But it's
now,
better.
now that I'm saying it out loud, that doesn't sound right. All right.
Just call me Dr. SUESS.
I want to talk about the Trump jury trial, but first let's get Jason Grant out here. Here he is. There's Jason Grant.
See, Kyle. Hi, Sam.
Wow.
Nah,
I'm sensing a theme. I don't
Yeah,
know.
lose another war, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, talk about people really good at starting something that they can't finish.
yeah.
And I know we like to, I don't mean to interrupt, but I know we talked about us being old. I just would like to point out this is the 79th anniversary of Benito Mussolini's retirement party, a swinging affair.
Talk about hanging out.
That was a swinging party.
Swinging party.
Swinging party.
Went out with a bang, and
Yeah.
you know, he and his girlfriend, and well, you know, sort of an
Here's the
open
rule.
market kind of al fresco kind of a event. And for all our younger listeners, I you know, you might want to look up. Benito Mussolini is not the name of
Oh,
a
it's not
pizzeria.
Cass.
Okay.
You were allowed to bring in prior
Right.
crimes. I looked up that Molina rule Mark was asking.
Yeah, she looked up the rule. The New York State law is that you are not allowed. Your past crimes do not indicate that you would commit the current crime. So,
Right. So if you have 4
and-
rapes.
right, exactly. If you were raped,
Right. We're
and in their case, and then in what's his name's
Weinstein.
Weinstein's case, he was never convicted of other crime. This was the first time he was convicted of anything.
Yeah, you hear that on Law and Order all the time, the Molyneux rule.
Oh, okay.
yeah, and whether they can open the door, whether the door has been open,
Right.
and, you know,
Yeah.
that's why putting your client on the stand is always kind of a risky
Risky yeah.
proposition.
Yeah,
Speaking of
it-
putting your client on the stand, believe me, even 10 years ago, if anybody had told me that we would have a former president on trial for paying off a porn star, and the first
That's right.
witness,
JFK
the trial-
never paid off any. JFK didn't pay off Marilyn. He just sent the FBI over to give her a little freshening up.
you know what? I'm not even going to tell my joke. Fuck it.
Why?
Uh-oh.
What's wrong with the joke?
I didn't get it in.
You can get it in. Oh, is that it?
I didn't get it. No. All I wanted to say was that I never thought that we'd have that. But to top it all off, the first witness was named Pecker. So I mean that just I thought that was humorous.
You know, I don't
But
understand.
you know, it wasn't nearly as funny as the FBI going to bump off Marilyn Monroe. I'm glad Jason.
If you
That was
if
fucking
you
hilarious.
if you
Thank you.
if you're doing a wow, if you're doing a if you run an organization like the Inquirer, right?
Right.
And they have a story that's so juicy, okay, that's so explosive about Trump,
How juicy.
and
is-
you bury it, and you bury it,
All right.
then you're just as big a whore as any of those other people.
It is, but the thing is, that National Enquirer was never about journalistic integrity.
No, I know that, but that's my point. You have a story. They don't care if it's true, but they have a story that if you put it out, it would sell 3 times as many newspapers as you have. It absolutely would, and you don't do it.
Yeah.
I find that amazing.
Yeah, because they're taking kickbacks and bribes. Really, it's a
Do
bribe.
you think Trump is paying them?
I don't think. He's paying them in the juice that he gives them. He was giving them, you know.
But he's not.
juice.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, he was the deal.
Don't trip on all this
The deal he made, the devil's deal he made with them is protect my name, and I'll give you all kinds of juice on people, all kinds.
But this is the thing.
Details on
See, but the conundrum there is that you know that Trump is lying about his juicy details. Trump will just make stuff up.
Guess who's here?
Well, I'm
Oh.
guessing it's not Bella Abzug.
Oh well,
I look like her, but not,
yeah. it's Bella Abzug from the grave.
She had the mustache.
No, the joke about Bella
Yeah.
Abzug was she wouldn't wear mini skirts because it would show off her balls.
Jeez. Oh my God.
God, no.
Oh, so it is.
Yeah, that's,
And who says Sam isn't sensitive to the gender fluid? Who says
Well,
that?
Who says that?
So did what's her name show up?
What's her name?
Oh,
Who was supposed to show up?
I thought the young lady that was on stage last night.
We had a lot of young ladies on stage. We had 27.
Oh,
people
you
on that
mean
show
in
last night.
Zoom? Did you send
Yeah.
her the link? Maybe not Zoom, whatever this is. Mark may not have sent the Zoom. We were
Pretty sure I
otherwise
did. Hold on.
occupied, which we can't talk about just yet.
Yeah.
hey guys, quick question. Are you guys coming or talking to each other all right? Because I'm getting all the clip out, all that nonsense.
We sound great, and you sound great. So if
I
we
sound fine.
and Sam
You
sounds.
always sound. Not only do you sound fine.
Now
Sam,
that
you
I
look
know
great
how
in
to get on,
Speedo.
now that I know how to get onto Zoom, I sound fantastic.
Yeah, everybody on our screen sounds great. Good.
No, but you know what it is this piece of shit Apple phone, which is only a year and a half old.
That's
saying
not
you
the
gotta buy
trade
a new
name, is
one.
it?
It should be. It should be. Now that we live in an age where every CEO is a synthesis of Steve Jobs and Vlad the Impaler, why not name things that way? At any rate.
How about them Knicks?
Yeah.
Hey, that is something else, man. I think they're going to take that series.
You know, it's interesting. And I've told you this before. There are no worse fans than Philadelphia fans
Absolutely.
in any arena.
Yeah,
And
Embiid in all four sports and their college teams.
And Embiid, Joel Embiid, is justifiably pissed off. For there was at least as many New York Knicks fans in that arena in Philadelphia as there were Philadelphia fans. At least as many.
Well,
and he's right to be pissed off. They don't come to the game, and the tickets are available. Well, and it's only a 2-hour drive.
I get it, and I tell you what, we heard the same thing from Green Bay when all the Detroit
for years.
No, when this last season, when all the Detroit half the stadium at half the seats at Lambeau Field last fall were filled with blue and
Lions fans.
The Lions fans, exactly.
Yeah.
And they were calling into Green Bay Sports Radio and what are we doing selling our tickets to Lions? Because everybody in Green Bay owns those tickets. I mean, that's the only way. That's the only way you can have a team in the city the size of Green Bay.
It used to be that Washington, when they were the Redskins, they had a waiting list for tickets of 103,000. 103,000 people. And now, the joke is that when Snyder owned them, the old joke was, what time's the game start? What time can you get here? They did so many dumb things. They did stuff like they had peanuts. I think I told you this. They had peanuts that were from an airline, and they repackaged them and sold them. By the way, Redskin tickets were very hard to get and expensive. You know how much they were the last 2 years of Snyder's reign?
No,
$4.
Them away.
$4.
Yep.
Okay, a beer is 12. Jesus,
Yep. We bought second market ticket when I took the kids out to L.A. back in when the Lions were out there, and it was my daughter's birthday. My daughter and my son have birthdays a day apart from each other, so for their birthdays, I took them to the Lions Chargers game. I bought aftermarket tickets for the Chargers, $50 a piece.
That's cheap as hell.
Yeah, it is.
The same tickets at Ford Field for a home Detroit game, $750.
Doesn't surprise me.
And I was asking people around. They said, and one guy sitting in the row behind me, we were talking about this. He said, we didn't have a team here for 21 seasons. He says, so even when the Chargers moved up here, most of the fans are the people that would drive up from San Diego. So that doesn't fill a stadium, That's
like 200 miles.
It's 150 miles to be exact, because I used to live there, and my dad lived in San Diego. We used to go there all the time. It's 150 miles away, and that's 300 miles for the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not so bad coming up on Sunday morning for the game, coming back on Sunday night when all the weekend traffic is going home.
Brutal.
Oh, it's just horrible. But anyway, so that was it. They didn't both the Raiders and the Rams, and then of course the Chargers were out of LA for 21 years. They didn't have a team there.
Yeah.
So they've got a whole generation that didn't grow up with a football team. UCLA and USC were their football teams.
All right, now I'm going to stick my toe in waters that you may find unusual for me.
Yeah, all right.
I'm going to explain to you why these people who are sitting in on the college campuses are not thinking. They're not thinking. Here's why. Except for ultra-Orthodox Jews, okay, no right-thinking person thinks that what's going on in Gaza is good, okay? It's not good. It's bad, okay? Hamas are a bunch of savages. Everyone knows that, okay? And Netanyahu, who is enslaved to the ultra-Orthodox, okay, could do the right thing and start sending these people food, okay? Because these are children that are dying. These are relief workers who are getting shot to death. Oh, we didn't know they were relief workers. Oh, the relief worker T-shirt didn't give you a clue?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all these people who are protesting are either stupid, and it makes you say to yourself, yeah, but they go to Columbia. Okay, so they're stupid and they went to Columbia. Okay. When I first heard Columbia, I went, wow, these people drove from Cali all the way up. And so if you heard me, I said it. But so I think there's more agreement there than disagreement.
Wait till you see the protests in Costa Rica.
Holy shit. Long lines of blow, no waiting. But that's see that I think there's more agreement there than disagreement. And when I was in college back in 1802, we had these kind of disagreements, okay? But it was always a unified effort. And I think if you asked half these kids, why are you here?
They don't know.
They don't know.
They're LARPing.
And I'll tell you something else. I went to as you know, I went to a predominantly, totally almost African-American school.
And Sam. It was the African-American school and Sam.
That's right. That's right. I would be very cautious if I went there now.
Yeah.
I'd be a little scared if I went there now.
No, they're spitting on Jewish kids. And it's, I don't know. It takes my breath away. The level.
See,
of
if they're
stupidity.
anti-Israeli, if they're against what's going on in Israel, I'm okay with that.
They're not.
But that's
They're
not what this is.
Sam.
That's not what this is.
This
is about Jews.
The Jews have been isolated and picked as the villain right now. I mean, do I need to repeat it? It starts with the Jews. It never ends with the Jews, right?
That's right.
I mean,
well, you know the old joke. Are we the chosen people? Yeah. Well, could you choose someone else?
Could you pick somebody else for a change? I mean, what? It has to be us.
Well, when you said that Netanyahu was beholden to the far right.
Of course he is. And he's
absolutely.
It's the same as Trump aligned with the evangelical Christians.
It's worse. It's worse, and I'll tell you why it's worse. Technically, you're right, but I'll tell you why it's worse. It's worse because the ultra-Orthodox are more rigid, much more chauvinist. I mean, there are women I know who were walking down the street in Tel Aviv, which is more like the New York of Israel, as opposed to Jerusalem, which is much more religious area. That's where the wall is, the Wailing Wall, not the one Trump tried to build, but the Wailing Wall, the Western Wall.
So Jerusalem is more Salt Lake City, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Without the hot blondes. So I said it. God damn right. I've been to Salt Lake.
Sam.
Hello, Betty.
To hell.
Hi, are you a Jack Mormon? Well, I'm Jack me off. So what do you think?
Did you see that girl? Now I know why they call it magic underwear.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And it's a tight fit. If you know what I'm
Maryland
saying.
joke is in bad taste. I get it. Okay. All right. Good.
I hope so.
Continue.
Anyway,
I got some great Edith Wilson material I'll be doing later
on.
on.
Oh my God.
These guys though, these ultra-Orthodox, they don't work. I love this. Their wives work. They're studying the Talmud. You've been studying the Talmud since you were 9. You're now 26. What
All right,
you,
okay,
you know it by heart.
hey, let's calm down on that one, because for years now I've been writing comedy. Okay, so let's just calm down on that one.
Yeah, but here's the difference. When you're writing comedy, you come up with something new.
That's true. That is true. You
Okay,
cannot-
the Talmud is the Talmud. That's it. It's the same goddamn thing. So
Hasn't been edited in ages.
and they won't go into the service.
No, they
So
won't. That's
they
the thing,
don't go into
serve
the
in
service.
military.
They don't work. Their wives work. And the thing that amazes me,
They don't really bathe either. If I may,
No, they do
I'm
not.
just talking about Los Angeles Hasidim. I'm not talking.
Yeah.
I don't know about. I don't know about.
no,
you.
they use a so-called Irish sprung. Why? Thank you.
Thank you.
But here's the thing, you know, and they don't serve in the military, so you contribute nothing to the state of Israel. Nothing, zero. You don't work, you don't serve in the military. You know what do you do? Nothing. So and
They bow at the they rock themselves at the
it's
wall.
called davening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I
And
know.
here's the thing I love. When I was in Israel, I did this every day when I was in Jerusalem. I would stand at the Western Wall when they were all davening, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like DOVINING. And somebody's cell phone would ring. And all the other guys would be looking at the cell phone saying, I dare you to answer that goddamn
Oh
thing.
God, that is so.
Go ahead, you heathen son of a bitch. And so I said to this guy, listen, I'm about to do something. And if you'd like to run now as fast as you humanly can, I'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm not telling you. He said, oh, don't do that. I said, I'm not telling you. So the phone rings and I'm standing in the back and I go, I'll get it.
Oh,
very funny.
And then I just turned around and no one knew who said it. And I just turned around and walked away.
Sam, you gotta tell me that you gotta correct my joke. I don't tell this. I think it's a great joke, and I don't tell it because I'm not sure it's accurate enough.
Well, tell me the joke.
It's a Jewish joke where I don't know if it's at the wall or in a synagogue, but a high member of the congregation comes up and he stands up. He says, "Lord, forgive me, I am a sinner." Another guy comes up next to him, "Oh Lord, forgive me," and even more exuberant. "Oh Lord, forgive me, I am a sinner." The janitor hears these two guys, drops his broom, drops his keys, goes over between the two rich congregants, and he goes, "Forgive me, Lord, for I am a sinner." The one wealthy Jew turns to the other one and goes, "So look who thinks he's a sinner."
I think that's funny.
It is funny, but now I don't know if that is. I mean, would that happen in a synagogue? Would that happen?
No, it wouldn't happen, but that's funny.
Maybe it's not a Jewish joke.
So look who thinks he's a sinner.
So look who thinks he's a sinner.
Oh no, that's very funny. Oh yeah, no, that I like that. I actually like that one. Here's the thing I love. I had a sister-in-law, and if you did a joke like that, she's one of these people who obeys all the rules that you can obey, religious rules.
Oh, she would pick it apart, right, and give you all the details of why it's not accurate.
And she didn't have a clue as to why she was doing it. Okay, because no, that's the thing. Why are we fasting? She goes, to ask God to forgive us for our sins. So if I'm eating, God won't forgive me.
Well, you're eating. He's busy. I mean, come on.
You
don't get absolution in the
Look
middle
at
of
how big
roast
mine
beef, do you?
You think God's going to get upset if I go like this? God, taste this.
Oh.
Jesus.
Remember Judy Tenuta's joke about communion?
No.
She goes, "I got kicked out of the Catholic Church by replacing communion wafers with
Oh yes, Necco wafers.
with Necco wafers." She
Nilla
goes,
wafers.
if you were God, who would you want to taste like?
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's hysterical.
God.
Oh, that's very funny.
Necco wafers.
Well, when you fast on Yom Kippur, you can't chew your nails, you can't drink water,
What?
you can't brush your teeth, nothing.
Now you know that. Now during Ramadan, the Muslims can't drink water either. I just found that out. I didn't.
Yeah, but see, here's the difference. They're not as strict as the Jews, because Ramadan is only followed by Lama Lama Ding Dong. So you see, folks,
So how do you prepare the llama llama?
how do you
Is that-
prepare the
is that-
ding
is that-
dong?
Is that the way? Is the ding dong how it's prepared? Is that what that is?
It always needs tarragon. I've noticed that.
Sam will be appearing at the mosque until Sunday night. Get going,
Now
everyone.
the Catholics, our fasting was only during the day, just like the Muslims. But we
Right.
could have water.
Oh, nothing. So here's what happened. I fast. This is what I used to do. I would stay up the night before because it's not a holiday. All our observances are sundown to sundown.
Right.
Okay. So what I would do is I would stay up till 5 a.m. Okay. And then I would sleep till 1 p.m. Right. And then I would go to the synagogue and I'd only have to fast for like 4 hours. Right.
That's the plan.
Because,
The
you know, by that time it's sundown. And
Yeah.
then I would go home and hug a box of Quaker 100%, hug it tenderly until, until sundown came. And then I would pour a quart of milk into it and just pour it down my throat.
There you go. Very
But
filling.
my brother would fast because he was one of these guys, well, I have to because I'm Jewish. You have no idea why you're fasting. I mean, it's to ask God to forgive you for your sins. Oh, okay. I'm hungry. Do you forgive me?
Yeah.
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 So
You're
so
getting
my
there.
brother-
You're getting there. You're getting there.
yeah. But you haven't suffered enough. Have you met my wife? So
I got your suffering right here.
exactly. I got your sepulcher. Anyway, my
Someplace
brother,
we've never been
one time when he
before.
was fasting, and he was a grown man at the time, he got very lightheaded and he got dizzy, and I had to drive him to the synagogue. He could barely walk. So the next day we drove to his doctor, and I said, you can eat now. And he goes, I'm concerned that if I eat now, I'm going to oh, that's the other thing. The biggest mistake people who fast make is that they cram it down their throats. You eat a nice medium meal.
Yep.
You do not eat do not cram it down. Anyway,
No.
So he went to the doctor.
That's why your breakfast is a light meal, because
That's
it's
right.
breaking
That's right.
a fast. Yeah.
So his doctor said, listen, I don't know how, and the doctor was Jewish, a Jewish doctor. And the doctor said to
It
him,
happens.
and it's a freak. And the doctor said to him, I don't think you should fast anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
He says, why? He says, well, look at you. You could barely walk. Your brother had to drive you. And we know how Sam drives. So right away, you're putting your life in your hands, but why would you, don't do that anymore. Don't fast. And he said, my wife, he said, is your wife a doctor? No, just tell her you can't. Doctor said, I can't fast anymore. Okay.
Well, as long as it says, if the magic phrase, I'm a doctor, doesn't that kind of grant all the earthly absolution you need at that point?
Well,
I mean,
it's. I think that a lot of Orthodox, unless you're ultra Orthodox, which is punish me, I've been bad. What did you do? None of your fucking business. But a doctor, would say to a Jewish guy, drink water. At least do that. At least hydrate, because I think that's the reason my brother got dizzy.
Yeah.
Just drink some water. In fact, drink lemon water.
Right.
In fact, drink a Long Island iced tea.
Maybe a whole pitcher of them.
Exactly. A real
there
man
you
would.
go.
You remember that great joke from Arthur? Arthur, a real
Yeah.
woman could stop you from drinking. Well, better be a real big one. What a great joke. Oh my God.
God, wasn't
my
Dudley Moore
God.
good with a line? Oh my God.
Oh, unbelievable.
It was
him
so small that Rhode Island could beat the crap out of it in the war. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
Has Mark had it with us? Is that it? Oh, by the way, we were talking about Mussolini.
Yes.
One of my favorite things. Mussolini is actually more responsible for starting what turned out to be the Third Reich than Hitler.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
And
the
and
Italian
something I
fascist
found really amusing is that Hitler was like the go-to guy in that part of in that realm.
Yeah.
And so Mussolini, whenever he felt his popularity was waning, would go to visit Hitler. Right?
Yeah.
And Hitler couldn't stand him.
No.
And I thought to myself, what kind of person are you that Hitler doesn't want to be around you? That
Well, you know,
Hitler
that-
says, tell him I'm asleep. Just tell him I'm not here.
Well, Mussolini was a journalist when he started off.
He was?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he was a very inflammatory, not just a journalist, but a editorialist.
Yeah.
Like,
he's-
like the Father Coughlin of Italy?
Not quite as suave. I mean, darn.
Father, what,
You know,
whatever happened? I mean, besides the fact he died, what happened to him?
Father Coughlin.
Yeah.
I think finally people just kind of figured out. Oh, hold on, what are we doing?
All right,
You know,
I have a
It's
brush.
like-
I have a brush with infamy. Oh, Father.
Okay.
Infamy?
I have a Father Coughlin brush
Oh,
with
Mark
of
is here with the Father Coughlin story. Let everyone sit down. Pay
I
attention.
thought you were going to say you met Dane Cook.
This isn't something, you know, when I talk about, you know, my grandmother was Stevie Wonder's Braille teacher through the 8th grade, and that's something to brag about.
Yeah.
But I
I
do
think
have
that's
some.
brag-worthy.
I think it's
Yeah.
brag. Well, wait till you hear this one. This one is the opposite.
All right.
Father Coughlin married my parents.
Oh.
Wow.
Both of them.
My
that's where the
grandparents were members of Father Coughlin's church, and
Wow.
Oh, you mean he performed the ceremony?
he performed the
I thought-
ceremony. Yeah.
I
You
No,
thought
he
it
didn't.
was like
he
a
didn't,
Mormon thing.
He didn't form a three-way. I'd be proud
No.
of that. You know.
I mean, sort of a
Wow.
1930s
That's
you know,
amazing.
power throuple, or that's right up there with the Morley Safer Jessica Tandy sex tape. I mean,
Morley
wow.
Safer and Jessica Tandy.
Tandy sex tape.
Really?
Yeah, that's a. Well, why not?
That can't be.
What do you mean? Why? Oh
She
yeah,
would
it
never.
can't be
She
because
would
he
never
just
have
said, "Why
sex with
not?"
a. No, she would never have sex with a Canadian.
Way to knock it out of the park, Sam. Good pop up triple right there. Right.
Thank you, brother.
Popped right.
By the way,
right back.
Morley Safer one time interviewed Jackie Gleason, and you know Jackie Gleason was a brilliant pool player and golfer.
Yep.
So it's so when they and it's on 60 Minutes when the segment opens, Jackie Gleason's shooting pool, and that theme song da 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 is playing, and Jackie Gleason says, "I loved him." He goes, "So listen, you want to maybe put a little wager on this, Morley? What do you think?" And Morley's like putting his hands up, going, "No, I don't think so."
No.
And Jackie Gleason goes, "Oh, all right, we'll play for fun."
Fun. He was
Fun.
You know the Jackie Gleason story that he was hanging out with Nixon, and Nixon informed him about the UFOs, and according to Jackie Gleason, Nixon arranged it for him to go and actually see said UFOs. True or not, I don't know, but it's a great story.
Turned
And
out to be
Jackie
Joyce Randolph.
Well,
You
tell
know,
me the
she
difference.
just died like last year.
Yeah, you know. Well, I mean, who knew that? What's her name was still alive at 99? Anna Marie.
Eva Marie Saint,
Eva Marie Saint.
still alive.
99 years old. I mean,
Still alive.
yeah. Is Angie Dickinson still with us? I mean,
Yes.
I bet she still has great legs. I mean, I don't know about the rest of it, but
Oh, please. Are you kidding? She's got so many varicose veins. She goes to Halloween as a roadmap.
Oh God, yeah. Even Burt Bacharach had
she
to
was
trade her
stunning.
in. Yes, she was.
There's a great line from Boys in the Band. Guy comes downstairs and goes, "Do I look stunning?" "Well, kind of. You look like shit and I'm stunned."
I forget the one movie that I saw was with some drag queens, and it's like, well, you look a little bit less like Mom's Mabley, which I thought was a
Priscilla,
was a great
Queen of the
line.
Desert,
Yes, that's the one.
Ah.
Yeah,
damn it.
that was like the
Terrence
American
Howard?
version of it.
No, it wasn't Terrence Howard. He's black. It was
Somebody Terrence.
Well, there
he
was
was
the
in
British
Billy
version.
Budd and he was in The Limey.
Yeah. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Because he always played the tough guy.
Yeah.
And
Priscilla Queen of the- that
Yeah.
was what was Wesley Snipes, wasn't it?
Terrence Stamp.
Wesley Snipes.
Oh,
was
Terrence
in-
Stamp. That was it.
Terrence Stamp.
Terrence
See,
Stamp.
Terrence.
Although he played in Billy Budd and Robert Ryan played the very cruel Taggart,
Oof.
and Peter Ustinov played his captain, who was a good guy, and Billy Budd,
Yeah.
of course, was this innocent. But
Right.
that's when Terrence Stamp was very young. But that movie, The Limey, was great.
Great movie.
Brilliant
Great
movie.
movie.
Oh
You know,
man,
he sort of like Robert Foster caught a little bit of that with Jackie Brown. These guys who kind of were past their prime, but somehow or another managed to get a role that was absolutely dead solid, perfect for them.
well, did you see?
You know-
Did you see? You saw the replay. What was it? God damn it! The thing with George Clooney in Hawaii. The
Oh, yeah.
Descendants.
The replicants. Yeah. The
The
Descendants.
The Descendants.
Well,
The
you know, in
Descendants.
that
I have not
movie,
seen that.
it was great. The story is that that George Clooney's wife was having an affair, and while she was on this power boat, a blade flew up and hit her and rendered her brain dead. So they're
Oh,
just
dear.
waiting for her to die. And Robert Forster played her father,
Oh,
and
okay.
and he was a dick. He was just a miserable guy, and George Clooney, who was like a really decent guy in this movie, he played a lawyer, and it was his job. The family that was left, this family was like part Hawaiian, part Caucasian. They went back 8 generations. So what they were going to do is they were going to sell this land, this huge tract of land.
That's got to be
Right.
That's got to be from a book, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This huge tract of land that was going to make all of them wealthy, and
Right.
some of them needed to be wealthy because they didn't have any money.
Right.
And it was up to Clooney to see how it was getting divided. What's his name? Bo Bridges was in it. Okay.
So Bo Hopkins wouldn't have been available.
No. Bo Brummel was not available.
Bo Derek didn't fit the part.
Bo
No,
Diddley passed.
Bo
Bo
Peep.
Diddley was
Bo
good.
Peep was sheepish about the whole thing.
Yeah, we couldn't meet her quote. That was the problem there.
And so in this movie, and a friend of mine, Mary Birdsong, was in it. She played his wife's best friend. And anyway, I'm so proud of her. She got into that movie. Anyway, and what's that? Oh, Matthew Lillard was in it, and he was terrific. He played the guy who was sleeping with Clooney's wife.
That's not a Soderbergh, is it? Who
No.
directed that?
No.
That was the guy who did the holdovers.
Yeah, Alexander Payne.
Alexander Payne.
Okay.
But
You guys-
anyway,
Did you guys see the holdovers?
Forster plays the brain dead woman's father,
Right.
and he's shitting all over Clooney, and he's saying, you were some shitty husband. She was a great wife, a loyal wife, and Clooney never said to him, she was fucking other men, you fat son of a bitch. He never.
No.
He just ate it.
But I wonder if Robert Wagner said that at Natalie's. Never mind. It was a
Tears
bad
on my pillow.
Natalie Wood. She washes up on the beach.
Well, you know the story about her and Sinatra. Her mother
No.
gave her to Sinatra, who brutally
she was like
raped her, and she was
15?
15.
Yeah, I had heard about that. But I mean, the shit like that happened back then. I mean, you hear the stuff that. Even it was like Shirley Temple. They'd take her dog and shoot a prop gun off to make her cry and say, "We just shot your dog." I mean,
Because we're running for governor of South Dakota.
yeah. Well, about to say at this point, she would actually be well qualified. Oh God. Doesn't Kristi Noem look like the kind of chick who could be like in a leather whip and
I'm very
outfit?
sad to say I think she looks hot as hell, and I'm very depressed about it.
Well, when you're hot, you can get away with shit. I mean,
And when you're not, you're not.
yeah, I mean, when you look like Rosie Greer with bigger boobs, it's
Rosie Greer.
Rosie Greer.
Although Rosie Greer with Ray Milland in The Thing with Two Heads, Ray Milland, an Academy Award winner, had to be thinking, what happened? How did this happen? Am I getting paid in vermouth? You shoot me now. How on earth did this happen?
This isn't Rosie Greer, but another Spartan I heard a story about this week that I'd never heard before.
What was that?
Bubba Smith
Yes.
was a junior.
Yeah.
Bubba was for baby.
Yeah.
Can't remember what his dad's name was, but his dad was a coach for one of the West Texas State, one of the black colleges in Texas.
Uh-huh.
And he led a boycott of Southern colleges by black athletes. And that's why Michigan State and Michigan and all these other Norton, Penn State got a lot of black football players in the 50s.
Right.
And because the reason it is because they brought his name up. They would like black athletes not to go to Florida schools now because of what DeSantis has ruled for the curriculum in Florida state schools.
And somewhat tangentially related, Michael Vick has written the foreword to Kristi Noem's book.
Called Putting on the Dog.
Write that one down. Hey, I want to see that one. I want to see Jason. I want to see that one next Sunday at the Uncle.
Sunday coming up. You better believe it.
Good. That's
right after I find a way to work in Schindler's to-do list one more time because I have fun delivering that.
The Schindler's
to-do list.
You know, someone offered me money for that Schindler's List joke.
Did they really?
Abramowitz,
Really?
Rosenberg, Silverstein. They said, I will pay you for that joke. I said, no. And they said, I'll pay you $25. No. Well, how much do you want? I said, I'm not selling it. But you don't even do comedy anymore. And I went, eats at you, don't it?
Yeah. I just bought a joke for the first time in about 8 years.
The one joke, I'm sorry, what's the joke you bought?
The joke, I think I might have told you already, Sam, but I don't know if I told these guys that. You know, my family's Irish, my dad's Irish, my mom's Italian. And when people find out you're Irish Italian, they said they're worried because they're afraid I'm going to get drunk and bump them off. I said, no. No, you got it all wrong. I'm going to bump you off, then I'm going to get drunk. You know?
Well, that's like that thing from Ocean's 11 when Elliot Gould's talking about Terry Valentine, and he goes, first he'll kill you, then he'll go to work on you.
Yeah.
God, I miss Elliot.
I tell you how Irish I am, how Irish Italian I am. I'm probably the only one you know that liked The Irishman.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't long enough.
Yeah, what to say? It was about 20 minutes too long, but I mean,
I know it wasn't for our family. It wasn't nearly long enough.
it was a great. You know, I've heard it's not long enough before, but it was in a different context.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, that's
don't ever be sorry. I'll tell you when you can be sorry.
I was doing fine. Yeah, the other people had the problem. I'm like, listen, you keep talking like that, I'm not going to let you out of the handcuffs.
What do you get when you mate a Jewish guy with a Puerto Rican woman?
What?
A superintendent who owns the building.
That's very funny. That's very funny.
Well, you know the joke that Freddie Prinze told, right? I'm half Hungarian and half Puerto Rican. I'm a Hungarican.
Hungarican.
Yeah, my parents met on the subway trying to pick each other's pockets.
Great joke.
You couldn't tell that joke now.
I think you could. I think you could.
I don't know.
I think you could, and I think you could, especially the way he did it. He was a New York comic, and that was he never even did a club in L.A. His first time to L.A. was on the
night.
Was that night in L.A. And that joke slayed that night.
Oh my God! Well, okay. Everything he did slayed.
Yeah.
You know the old debate. You can't do Blazing Saddles, but what about Slapshot? Because you remember. I mean, again, somewhat lesser known, but Paul Newman, my favorite Michigan graduate, Strother Martin.
Old Town Hockey.
I thought he went to Kenyon College.
Old Town Hockey.
You know, old time.
Gordie Howe.
Old time. You know, when Paul Newman delivers such sensitive lines when he's talking about the owner's 8-year-old son saying, yeah, that kid's going to have a dick in his mouth before too long. You know, and calling out Strother Martin for being gay. But Strother Martin just giving one of the best locker room speeches ever.
He was good friends with Newman.
What the hell are you guys doing? There are scouts out there. There are scouts. Now, like shit.
How far back did Strother Martin and Paul Newman go? Do you know?
Well, he did Cool Hand Luke for.
Not movie wise. Did they know each other?
He did Cool Hand Luke and Harper.
Yeah.
Oh, both great movies.
Yeah.
Cool Hand Luke. That's one of those movies where I got to sit down and I got to watch it at least once every 2 or 3 years.
I just saw Harper. What a cast. Yep. Robert Webber.
Yeah.
Arthur Hill.
Yeah.
Lauren Bacall. Pamela Tiffin. Who else? Strother Martin.
Yes. God.
Robert Wagner.
Yeah.
Julie Harris.
Julie Harris, that's right.
Yeah, hell of a
God.
cast. Oh, Shelley
what about-
Winters.
But what about a movie like HUD, which again, you want to talk about some of the best Patricia Neal stuff ever put to celluloid.
That's
And-
why, you know, there are two movies where the actor won Oscars, and they were absolutely make-up Oscars. Absolutely. That
Right.
Color of Money, Paul Newman,
Oh,
that was one.
absolutely.
And the other
Yeah,
was Scent of a Woman with Pacino.
Yes.
Yes.
That was
Because you got
you know,
Godfather
yeah.
1, you got Godfather 2, you got Dog Day Afternoon, you got Serpico, and
Oh,
he
I
wins
know.
for
Cool Hand-
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, same thing with Cool Hand Luke, but it's up against The Man for All Seasons.
But what did Cool
Okay.
Hand Luke win? Who did Cool Hand Luke win for?
It didn't win for anything.
George
That's what I'm saying.
Kennedy won for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
That woman doesn't know what she's doing. She knows,
She knows exactly
what
what
she's doing.
Right line.
Again,
Why'd you say
second
50?
role.
Why'd you say 50? You could have said 35. You could have said 40, but 50. You said 50.
Taking them on, boss. Taking them off, boss.
Ralph Waite has a really underrated role in that, where he plays sort of the wormy
Who?
inmate. And Ralph Waite, Danny
Oh.
Walton.
Yeah.
He's got a great little wormy kind of role in there, but he plays it perfectly.
You know one of the most amazing things about Roots, the special, every guy who you've ever seen on TV who played a good guy played a prick in that movie. Ralph Waite, Chuck Connors,
Mike Reed.
Robert Reed.
Robert Reed. They all played pricks.
Also
in
called
that movie.
Roberta. Yeah.
You know, every one of them.
Yeah, but
I thought it was very interesting casting.
Vic Murrow was Vic Murrow. I mean, so there was at least there's that.
You know the story about, you just reminded me of this because you said that last name. Frank Sinatra is on Person to Person, right?
Right.
And he comes on, and Frank Sinatra says, "Ed, I have to apologize. I'm very sorry, but if I don't catch this plane, I'm going to miss my show in Vegas. It's tonight. I have to go. Please accept my apologies. This is something to entertain you." And he puts on his own album and leaves. And Murrow, being the great journalist he is, says, "Well, why don't we just all sit back and relax and listen to this mafioso thug?" No, he didn't say that.
Hey guys, you guys have been around actors. Clancy Brown always plays a villain to a T. And so I'm used to seeing him as a villainous person. And he's an actor, obviously. But yet I see him in interviews. He seems like one of the nicest guys you'd ever
He's a
want to meet.
hippie.
Yeah.
He's a hippie.
But
No.
You turn the camera on, and he can channel the fucking devil, what he had.
Absolutely. The only thing I ever saw him play a good guy in was Blue Steel with Ron Silver and Jamie Lee Curtis.
God, wow, good.
But that's it.
Good pull. Late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't want. I wonder if someone like Vic Murrow was the same, because Vic Murrow always played just
Vic Morrow.
Vic Morrow. Jamie Lee. The guy who got killed in the
Vietnam accident.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone.
Another
Combat.
one.
We're going nuts over here. Combat.
Yeah. Combat.
Oh, by the way, the other guy in Combat, Rick Jason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was so obnoxious in this interview. You could actually hear the interviewer go. He goes like this. He goes, for 2 years, I've been a devoted student of karate. And the guy goes,
"Oh my God.
You mean karate?" He goes, "I prefer to call it karate." I was dying for that interviewer to go, "I prefer to call it throwing up."
Yeah. I was listening to, again, my obsession, late night Art Bell archived. But there was one from the early 90s.
You listen to Art Bell? Hard to believe.
Yeah, I mean, but you can hear Art every now and then light up a cigarette. And it's like I mean, back in the day, if you were listening on your radio, you would have never caught that.
Listen, but, if you're Art Bell and you're broadcasting from a double wide in Pahrump, which is the only other county. There's no prostitution. Wink, wink. In Clark County in Vegas.
No, right.
There's only 2 counties where it's allowed. One is wherever Pahrump is. I don't know the name of the county.
Nye.
The other is where
Nye
County, and the other is where Reno.
Yeah.
Because you have the Moonlight Bunny Ranch.
Right.
So I performed a stand-up gig in Pahrump, And I come home, and by the way, driving home from there, it is pitch dark, 2-lane blacktop. All I could think of was Sam Kinison. That's all I could think of. I swear to God, I was so scared.
I was just reviewing that today about how that man died.
Yeah,
You know,
I was so scared. So I get home, and Barbara says, "Well, how was it?" And I go, "You know, it's amazing. That town has so many." I was such an idiot. Has so many good-looking women, and they were so nice to me. And she goes, she goes like this. She goes like this. Look,
Sam.
Sam, do you know why they're all good-looking? Genes. Sam, do you know what they do for a living? They're prostitutes. And I said, really? She said, Sam, why would they be nice to you?
You look like a man might have a couple of coins in your pocket.
I said, well, you know, I'm winsome. She goes, yeah, and they're loosome. Okay. I just made that up. She didn't say it.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm not giving
and
credit
even
for
John
that
Holmes
fucking
would
joke.
look at you and go, "Oh man, whoa,
Wow.
put that back."
I got to cut off a slice of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dear. I still love the opening of Casino though, where De Niro's doing the voiceover and with Pesci about
As the car explodes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know. Which again, Saul Bass and was it his wife or his daughter who was doing that was his last credit as doing titles. And again, just a brilliant graphic artist. Absolutely amazing guy. And what he would do with a movie, he'd tell you the whole story if you just watch the opening titles.
Who are you talking about?
Saul Bass.
Saul and Elaine Bass.
Yes.
I think it's his daughter.
Well, okay.
I think it's his daughter.
You can always tell one of his movies or one of his title sequences because, again, he does a wonderful job. But again, in the movie Casino, there where they're talking about all the holes out in the desert, and Pesci comes in, but you got to do it right. You got to have the hole dug first, otherwise someone could come along, and then maybe you're out there all goddamn night. You know.
I love the thing where he meets Joe Pesci in the desert, and Joe Pesci says, "Where do you get off going over my head, talking behind my back?" Wouldn't it have been great if De Niro said, "That's too many prepositions for me."
I love the fact that he's standing out there, and I think De Niro pulls it. He's smoking a cigarette with the cigarette holder. He just looks down at something and then just kind of tiptoes away from it, and you know, like there was something crawling on the ground coming towards him. And he's one of those actors who knows how to use his physicality in fairly convincing ways. Steve McQueen was another guy who could do that.
So hard to believe he died at 50. 50.
Well, he McQueen.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I mean, he tried doing Laetrile and some of the other stuff.
He tried everything.
And but you know, they had to smoke like fiends back then. I mean, my God, it just.
If you look at a movie from the late 40s, early 50s, and you look, you know, when you go to IBDM, and you look at cause of death, heart attack, emphysema, cancer, heart attack, well, I'll tell you something I thought was not amazing, but in the movie Yankee Doodle Dandy, the kid who played little George M. Cohan, the one who said, "And I can whip any kid there," and then he goes outside and they kick his ass.
Yeah.
Acute alcohol poisoning.
Whoa.
Wow.
Rusty Hamer, this is before your time, but Rusty Hamer, who played Danny Thomas's son, Rusty, ate a gun.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the kid who played Paul Newman's younger brother in HUD.
What happened?
Brandon DeWilde?
Yeah, he died in a car accident, of all things.
Well, the guy who played Willie Keith, Ensign Keith in Kane Mutiny Court Martial.
Yes.
Plane crash.
Yeah.
Was 6 years old.
Really?
I don't know.
Was he on?
I heard from.
Is there a funeral coming up?
So what is there? Is this the Sweetman compound about to be raided? Are they going to start kicking the doors?
That wasn't that siren was not from our studio.
That was from Sam's neck of the woods.
From Stan's neck of the woods.
Yeah, the mean streets of New York. Yeah, I see another drive-by out there.
This neighborhood is so quiet. Oh wait, there's someone at the door.
No, he told his mom I'm sorry. Andy and I are having a private discussion here. Sorry. We can include you guys. We lost a comic in Detroit last week.
Did you look behind the fridge?
No. You just mentioned somebody swallowed a pistol, but
He killed himself?
Yeah. Harry Arton. Did you know Harry, Jason?
He has some great lines.
What was his name?
Harry Arton. That was his stage name.
Yeah. Say Harry Arton the Barbarian.
Larry.
Yes.
You remember the black comic who did a lot of impressions here in New York, and he killed himself? Larry.
You don't see that with a lot of black folks. Do not do that.
Marie Augustine.
So you're saying we should investigate, Jason?
Harry Arton.
No.
Harry Arton.
Larry
those words came
Gatling.
out of
No,
your
that's
mouth,
not it.
not
Larry.
Harry Arton left for New York back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to make it.
I thought so. He has some great stuff.
Here he is.
Oh, this feels good.
It's not
He
like
used
Otto.
He used to do those bits. He used to do these lines like, I was driving through the country, ripping up all these trees and throwing them in the back of the seat. Tripping out the trees and pulling them back of the seat, grabbing rabbits and throwing them in the back seat. I was just driving through the country, taking in the countryside, you know. But his best thing was he had this sort of like dog thing that he did. And he just pull it all out, go, my dog having sex or something like this, you know. They just do this whole thing and just keep going for like a minute, 2 minutes.
And I noticed that of all the comedians we talk about, you know what? We never bring up Kirkland Teeple, which tells me a lot about Kirkland Teeple.
Well, he passed away from suicide as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, my understanding, he was not a particularly well-loved gentleman. That was and you know, here he's the guy who founded the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase, and yeah, buddy of mine. I guess he died owing a buddy of mine a lot of money for coke. So
yeah. Well, he was a man who was.
That's hard to collect once someone dies.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you know, it's.
You're not going to knock on his wife's door and go, listen, I'll tell you this, but
Kirkland Teeple was controlled by cocaine, alcohol, and blow. You know.
What was the third one?
Blow.
That's a great combo.
Cocaine and blow.
Cocaine was the same thing. I'm sorry. Well, massive amounts of cocaine.
Rookie.
Sorry. I never got paid in blow. I paid in cash. Come on.
Come on. Who doesn't love the Woody Allen scene from Annie Hall?
Oh my!
So how
the
much?
first time I saw it, my heart stopped.
So good.
I actually shrieked.
What was the answer? He asked how much it cost.
$2,000.
Oh God! I mean, I've got to watch that movie again. I have not seen Annie Hall in literally maybe 30 years now.
I watch it. It comes on. It comes on at TCM about once every 2 months.
Dated or of its time, shall we say, or is it?
Oh, it's very dated.
Right, he was at
okay.
But it's so funny. You know, when he says to that girl who Porchnik, he goes, let me see,
Callahan's or something like that.
You know, you only see socialist summer camps.
I don't.
She goes, thank you for reducing me to a cultural stereotype.
O'Mara's.
What is the movie where they live in a house that's underneath a roller coaster?
That's right, and his father
like
ran the bumper cars.
Where did I get from?
Yes.
What's in that?
Hold on, Sam.
And why did you fire the maid? Because she stole. She's colored. They have to steal. She's poor. Oh, the other thing I love is when he's having dinner at Annie's family's house, and the grandmother looks over, and he's dressed like a Hasidic Jew. Oh my God! And he looks at the audience. He breaks the fourth wall, and he goes, "Now the grandmother, real Jew hater right there."
Oh God. You know, the woman who recently passed away, she played the mother-in-law on The Sopranos. She also played the mother-in-law on Goodfellas.
Nancy Marchand.
No, not that one. The other one. What's her name?
The mother-in-law on The Sopranos.
The maternal mother-in-law. You know, oh Christ! Now my brain is dying. Carmela's mother.
I don't know if I ever saw her.
Oh, you did. And she also played the mother-in-law in Goodfellas. She was Henry Hill's mother-in-law. She was the Jewish.
Okay.
You know, do you know how these people lived? Your
What kind of
father
man
never
does
said-
this? What kind of man
Listen,
stands outside? By the
all
way,
night long, yeah.
the guy who played Karen's father, Uncle
Yeah.
Dirty.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, that was Uncle
Wow.
Dirty.
Wow. That and you? Oh God.
You know what Uncle Dirty said? He had one kid with his wife. He said, "I just want to die before she's old enough to hate me." You know,
I
he
don't
was a
know.
very smart guy on the stock market. He got a lot of people invested in the stock market and made them money.
Yeah,
And there was not a drug he did not try.
I'm told. Yeah. Yeah. God, there was a time. I haven't done drugs in so long now. I'm almost ready to give it another try. I figure I'm good to give it another go.
Well, you know, it's funny. I told a friend of mine, I said, if I hit 90, I'm going to do heroin. And he said, "Are you serious?" I went, "No, are you insane?"
What was that? The movie Little Miss Sunshine when Alan Arkin
Alan
is
Arkin.
going on the road trip and doing China White.
My
and dies of an
favorite thing in that
overdose.
movie, it's a very small piece, but when he says, when he's cursing in front of his, granddaughter, and Greg Kinnear says, "Will you stop that?" He goes, "Screw you. I took German bullets." He goes, "Enough of the German bullets in your ass."
Hey, I forgot to do our closing music, fellas. So here it comes.
All right, hit the button there, Mark.
Yeah, it's going now. Hey, another night of the off night. Been a great night. It's always fun talking with my buddies.
And Sam.
And Sam.
And
No,
Sam.
Sam is my buddy.
I'm kidding.
I talked to Sam more than any of you guys. So
Yes.
Lucky
Yeah.
bastard.
yeah, we have off podcast conversations from time to time.
Yes, we do.
Anyway, next week we'll be talking about the trial that we're going through this week. I spent
Nice.
I was
Which one?
exhausted tonight. Our house got shut up. You heard about that, right?
No.
You're off the show now, right?
Yeah, we're off the air.
Yeah, we can't talk about it really.
No, we're not off the air.
No.
You got shut up?
No,
We're not off the air. We're still
We're
You
not
live.
have to
We're
get
still
off
live.
the air. That's
All right, we
fine.
can't talk about it on the air. So stay tuned. We'll talk about it after we get off the air.
Yeah, the rest of you can just suffer.
Yeah. Everybody else.
That's the teaser.
Well,
for a future
that's a
show.
teaser for a future. Yeah, that's a teaser for next Monday.
There,
8
that's
o'clock.
there's a tagline.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You
Say
won't be
goodbye.
dead. You won't. Somebody will be put up or dead by next week, but not you. Come join us at 8 o'clock Monday night.
It's a Martin Quinn production. Okay.
Another Quinn Martin
off yet.
production from Q Enterprises.
Anyway,
There
stick
you
around.
go.
We'll talk afterwards. The rest of you, thanks for joining us. We're here every Monday night at 8 o'clock live. And then you can watch it on YouTube channel, the Off Night YouTube channel, in perpetuity until they decide that they want to charge us for it or take it off. So,
No, they're
we're-
not charging us.
we're
And remember,
at
next
episode-
week, our special guest, Dmitry Tiomkin,
Good night.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us.
in hell.
And so long, everybody.